PW Hustle Networks present PWR at the Movies. Join the Professor, Tommy Wonder, and JB as they discuss the greatest pro wrestling moments in movie history.
Vicious form of illegal entertainment.
Give me 182p.
Is about to go online.
These contestants were already dead. Each was on death row. After 30 hours, I will set the last one left alive free.
The players. Ruthless killers. Ooh, the game. Stay alive.
Game on.
You enjoy watching all this?
Let's go, sweetheart.
The Condemned.
Who run it? You acting like it down now. You know, but you're acting like it.
You're the next one and nothing to kill. You don't believe it, but I'm betting that you will. Stop, no, I'll let you live a little bit with the pain that I bring. You know it's only the beginning. Stop off, cause you're the next one and nothing to kill.
What is going on there, Reflection Knights? What is going on there to the big Vito Whites? What is going on to the Hameen Knights? What is going on to the Leftites, the Rightites, the Demites, the Repubites, the Israelites, the Ukrainites, the Russianites, all the ites in between. What's going on to the Magnificent 7, the Elite 8, the Naughty 9, the Terrific 10? You know who you are. And where is your popcorn? Where's your sodas? Where's your jujubes? Where's your mints? Where is the cotton candy? Where's all the movie delectables? Because we, the PWR podcast at the PWR Networks at Podbean.com, are going back to the movies. Yes, we have got the 50-inch plasma. We got the sodas. We got the popcorn. We got the hookers. We got the cocaine. We got the blow. We got it all. You know we got all this because TW in a week is going to be on a cruise with all this anyway. He won't share with the professor, but, you know, I have to have it right now. And he is holding a Stone Cold Steve Austin action figure. And pray tell, before we even get into this, I must introduce myself because I am vain like that. You know, I can't go. It's, you know, I grow older if I don't talk about myself. If I don't introduce myself like that. I grow 10 years older, so I must introduce myself. It's kind of like my potion. It is my, you know, it's my shield. So I am the most magnanimous one. I am the most scholarly one. I am the most effervescent one. I am the most stupendous one. But most importantly, I am the most glorious one. The only objective man in this IWC, YWC, PWC punditry. The only objective man in this political spectrum. I'm the only independent man. The true independent. The Professor Chabela Cruz. And I'm not here alone. No. I am here with the conservative liberal, the liberal conservative, the man with the iron stomach, Dr. Frickin' Stein himself, and soon to be getting all the ass, the lady ass, on the orgy cruise in a week. Your friend of mine, Mr. Wonderful, Tommy Wonder. I know it's either a booze cruise, TW, an orgy cruise. I know those Pornhub cruises. I was going to pay for one. So I know you did too. I congratulate you. You know, I know you don't want to talk about it, but if you want to talk about the Pornhub cruise, I know, you know, Ava Adams is going to be there. I know Lisa Ann's going to be there. I know Vanessa Del Rio is going to be there. So I hope you can hook up with one of those porn stars. Just do it for the professor, you know, but don't tape it. I don't want to see your body. I want to see the women's bodies. That's what I want to see.
Right. So here's the deal. This is my first cruise ever, and a friend of mine whose birthday is today, Stacy, not Stacy from Dum Dum Doing an Idiot that never records videos, but Stacy from Canada. I've met her through Jeff Kavanaugh from Impact Wrestling. Anyhow, her and her husband on a cruise. They do a lot of cruises, and I have another American couple that also do a lot of cruises, and they swear by it, man. My one buddy does 4 a year, so I'm assuming I'm gonna have a good time. If you got people that do this shit on a regular basis, it's fairly cheap. I'm not even gonna say what cruise line I'm traveling on. I'll just say it's the Spirit of Boats is what I'm hearing. But but basically, me and my buddy Chris, we went to Miami 2 years in a row. This December came and went, and I was like, man, I'm kind of bummed out that I'm not preparing for a January trip to Miami, right? Like, Miami has absolutely grown on me. I don't think I could live there, but I do like visiting there. Cost of living's a son of a bitch. The people are awesome. Like, it ain't the people that would make me not want to live there. It's the cost of living. But anyhow, plus I want to be on the Gulf side when I eventually move down there because I like that water. Because I got in that water in Jamaica, and it's glorious, as you like to say. But anyhow,
absolutely.
When Chris first talked to me about doing a cruise, he's done them before. I was like, hey man, I can't be sleeping underwater. Like, I thought you sleep below deck, and I'm like, I don't. And then my friend Stacy from the Dum Dum Doing Idiot videos, she said, "You idiot! It's not a submarine. You're above water." And I'm like, well, then why is there no windows? And I figured it out. It's because there's rooms that face the inside and rooms that face the outside because they got a lot of rooms. So the perimeter is probably windows, interiors no windows, and then the ends are what do you call it, balconies. But anyway, right. I had anxiety. I woke up in the middle of the night sweating, going, I can't do it. I can't get on this fucking boat, and I canceled it. So today I'm on Snapchat, and Stacy's on there, Canadian Stacy, and dude, she's walking between two boats on land. And there's a boat on either side of her, and I just thought, I'm going to pass out when I'm standing next to these boats. You ever see Midnight Run?
Yeah.
Where Charles Grodin's on that plane, and he goes, these things are too big to fly. We're going to crash. That's what I'm going to feel like on that boat. So it's too bad I can't smoke weed because of my job.
It's apropos because I know that, you know, me and TW are Facebook friends, Reflectionize, and I've always seen him. Again, you can't compare a big boat to a little boat, but right. TW religiously during the summer with the Wonderlings is in the river on a little ass boat. What's the difference? But you're on a boat.
Detroit River, you'll fucking drown in that motherfucker if you try swimming in it.
I'm just saying.
But I've been in the Detroit River in the boat too.
Yeah, but you have no fear. You're having fun. You're boozing it up.
Love it.
So what's the difference?
The difference is this motherfucker's the size of a building. That's the difference.
Okay,
I'm
just do me a favor.
Just know I'm gonna stay drunk, and I'm gonna Snapchat. I'm gonna TikTok on that sumbitch for 4 days. I'm gonna put stuff on the Hustle page, on our page. I'm gonna have nothing but a good time. That's my promise.
Just do me a favor before you go on the cruise. Do not watch any boat disaster movies. Okay, just don't do it. So don't, keep an open mind, keep a fresh mind.
I'm staying above deck. I don't care if the chick's the hottest girl I've ever met in my life. If her shit's below sea level, we're going to my room and we're not going nowhere. Because I don't want to be wherever Leonardo DiCaprio was when that shit started sinking. Because I tell you right now, my favorite part of Titanic is when that dude fell off the top of that broken half of the boat and hit the propeller on his way down. That's going to be me on purpose if this thing sinks.
You know what Aquaman loves below the deck, right?
No.
Semen. I'm saying. But with that being said,
he told you that in your DMs, didn't he?
Hell no. But anyway, welcome to the PWR podcast. Welcome.
Real quick.
Okay.
I seen this new term that I like I'm actually coming around to you calling me this. Because it's perfect. It's me in a nutshell, right?
Okay.
I see it on the dating apps, and it says, Fiscally conservative, socially liberal. That's me. I'll hang out with anybody, anywhere, at any time. I love everybody. But I hate my government spending all our money on shit they shouldn't spend it on. So there is the perfect fiscally conservative, socially liberal.
Dude, I got a big refund for all this shit I sent to Ukraine. So, I'm just saying, it's good. It's good for tax season, but neither here nor there. But anyway, welcome to PWR at the Movies here at the PWR Networks at podme.com. And we're going to have a fun show here. Again, the thing that's funny about this Reflection Nights and TW, we are going to do a movie that, it was on TW's Blu-ray collection that he never watched. And funny enough, I've seen the trailers on YouTube. I saw the trailers in 2007 when this came out. The trailer looked okay, but I just wasn't interested to watch it. So it was the first time even the professor in 2023 watched this movie fully. And we are going to review the 2007 classic. I don't know. I'm putting the air quotes there. Cult classic starring Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Condemned.
And that's it. No more names after that.
I got the names. Don't worry about that. But before we're going to talk about the plot of the movie and certain things that we grasp from this movie, we have to go with, the business side of it, TW. The funny thing about Stone Cold Steve Austin was, you've said it countless times here at the PWR podcast. You've always talked about, oh God, we're already rolling along. You're not going to do an unboxing right now. And
you're going to cut right to it. I'm all happy for Ray. The last episode I'm going to do before the cruise.
We are going to save the unboxing for the end.
You got it.
Got it? Okay. Yeah. Now, let's see. We're doing it live. Reflection Nights. But anyway, Stone Cold Steve Austin, TW, you have religiously said that, you've always talked about his merchandise. You always talked about the T-shirts, number one seller during the Attitude Era. And he profited off of the Attitude Era with his merchandise, the Austin 316 shirts, the Stone Cold Steve Austin SCSA shirts. I remember those. The SOB shirts, the BMF shirts, and all that stuff, the Rattlesnake shirts, all of that gambit. So it was apropos for at least Steve Austin to at least have a sniff, if you will. You smell it? You smell that? Hollywood was calling during the Attitude Era. And I remember Steve Austin having these guest appearances on Nash Bridges, when Nash Bridges was a top 20 show on CBS. He played a detective, and I believe there was talks about doing a Nash Bridges spinoff with Steve Austin as the cop, so he could have his own series and all that stuff. But of course, Steve Austin was fighting 300 days out of the year. He was healthy enough to wrestle. So now it's apropos, TW, I have to use that word again. We get to 2007, and his first debut, if you will, his first starring debut is this movie, The Condemned, which was produced by WWE Films. So we already knew that he was at a negative. Hollywood and WWE Films just did not mesh. It was produced by WWE Films. It was produced by Colossal Entertainment, New Wave Entertainment, distributed by Lionsgate. So let's talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin. Did he miss the window with Nash Bridges? Because like I said, Nash Bridges was a top 20 show or top 25. I'm being nice here. I don't remember the numbers per se, but Nash Bridges did go on for a lot of years. And again,
it was the number one show for a while. Back when
I think it was on Fridays.
It might have been number one on Fridays only. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. But it was back when people actually watched TV. They didn't DVR it.
Right.
This shit was live, and you watched it or you missed it.
So the question is, did Stone Cold Steve Austin miss his chance, just like The Rock took his chance after the Scorpion King, for him to become the crossover star, or was he doomed to fail with his Hollywood venture no matter what? What say you?
I'm trying to figure out. So this isn't his first movie, is it? He did some other stuff.
He did like cameos, like The Longest Yard.
But this is his first full-length movie that he's the guy.
Yeah, he's the guy. Okay. Longest Yard came in 2005, but that was a bit part. So I'm just giving you.
What was that one?
The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler.
Right. So he did the right thing by being in The Longest Yard, by being in Expendables 3 or 2, whichever one he was in.
That came after.
Right. But I'm saying he did the right thing by taking those roles because those were big movies. Well, Expendables wasn't a big movie, but what I think happened is because I don't really know when The Rock really broke out, because The Rock was making some dumb shit too. He was making The Tooth Fairy, but it was Disney. He was making The Nanny or whatever the fuck we had, a little adopted gridiron or something it was called. So he was making movies that weren't exactly blowing Hollywood up either. And then all of a sudden, I think it was G.I. Joe is when he started blowing up, and then boom, he was on his way. So I think if you're Austin in 07, he probably got offered the movie in 06 or 05. Finally got around to being able to doing it, because didn't he retire in 05?
Technically, he retired in 03.
Okay. So he's basically taking the Hogan route, because it's probably the only route he thinks there is. Whereas if he would have held off a little bit, he would have saw that The Rock was going to go, because The Rock's number one in the world, not just number one in wrestling making movies.
That's why I'm asking you the question, because again, like in 2000, he had that opportunity.
Right, but I don't think
with the role of national.
There wasn't a Rock success like this yet. And one of the reasons why I think The Rock is where he is today is that dude did everything, man. He did an HBO show. He did whatever he could to get his name and eyes on a TV, right? Mm-hmm. And then like The Rundown was like The Condemned. I mean, it probably was better produced. Wasn't it New Line or whatever who makes Freddy? Wasn't that who made The Rundown? Walking Tall. But I think Austin thought he was making his Rundown, his Walking Tall, and thought better things were coming. But I think Austin found his niche with doing them damn TV shows where he drives around in the doom buggies and then obviously the podcast.
Yeah, he does the reality show. He does the podcast.
I think he found his niche there. And I would say this. Between the two of them, I think The Rock is ready to go anywhere, anytime to film any movie, as long as he thinks it's going to be a success. I think Austin is somebody that wants to stay close to home. So I think I don't know if it's that he missed the bus. It's that he didn't even stand there and wait for it. Like, he made the movies he got offered, said, all right, I'll make some money, and then found his comfort zone having people come to his ranch, interviewing them on his ranch, flying them in for his ranch to do the podcast. Plus, he's got a spot in L.A. where he'd have people come into L.A. because he owns a little office in L.A. to do the podcast. So
I'll say this. Stone Cold, you could tell with this movie and all the direct-to-video thing, like you said, close to home or close to the WWE bubble, which is technically a negative. Again, he did The Longest Yard. He did the Expendables, but everything else, he stayed close to the vessel on his time. And maybe he doesn't want the rigors. I don't know if there's really is a rigors.
He's done traveling. Like The Rock did it when he didn't retire because he was hurt. He was retired because his fucking card got punched in Hollywood. So he just kept traveling. And he probably thought it was great because at least he's in New Zealand for 3 months, not New Zealand, Singapore, Japan. You know,
I'm just saying this is like a movie. What if? Because again, the Nash Bridges to me could have been. I'm not saying that Stone Cold would have had a 10-year run with a Nash Bridges spinoff because he's playing a detective. But at the time, he's the number one guy, the number one draw with him and The Rock. He's technically actually a level above The Rock in terms of the Hollywood thing, because he was creeping up with the SNL thing. He was creeping up with the Scorpion King, bit part, you could say. But Austin with the Nash Bridges, that was still something bigger that Vince McMahon could say, that's mine. He's my guy and all that stuff.
But I'm going to tell you the difference between the two of them.
Okay.
And this isn't a knock on Austin, and I'm going to say this first and foremost. The one thing I took out of this Condemned movie is never once did I think he was bad acting. I think that about Cena often, right? I love Cena, but I feel like he's acting when I watch him. My favorite bad actor is Mark Wahlberg. Second is probably John Cena, because they both crack me up even when they're not trying to, right? Austin, in that movie, The Condemned, I didn't feel like he was Stone Cold Steve Austin. I did look at him and go, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, I didn't think Conrad Bain, whatever the fuck his name was, but I didn't feel like he was being Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's Conrad Bain from Different Strokes. They ain't the same guy.
Whatever. But what I'm saying is I didn't feel like he was being Stone Cold Steve Austin. But I think in 2001, 2000, with all that, I think he would have been straight up typecast into making only movies like Expendables and Condemned, whereas The Rock, because of Saturday Night Live, because of his skits where he played the guitar and ripped on Vicky Guerrero and stuff like that, he started showing multiple dimensions, not just badass. He showed he would be the laugh. He showed he could get the laugh at someone else's expense. So I think he was spreading his wings to show people he can do anything. And again, I still think, he didn't hit overnight. I think The Rock paid his freaking dues, man, because even though
I'm just saying. Yeah, you're right. There were bad movies, but then again, he found his niche with
bad. I just think low budget, because that's the one thing I will say about this movie. I don't think it was bad.
Well, let's be real. Let's be real. The Rock found his niche after Fast and the Furious.
Right.
Then G.I. Joe came. So he was part of a franchise that worked.
He called franchise Viagra is what they were calling it. G.I. Joe. Did he do Transformers? He didn't do Transformers, did he?
No.
He did Journey to the Center of the Earth. That was the third one.
Mm-hmm.
And Jumanji.
We're not doing a Rock PWR.
No, but I'm saying.
But I get what you're going. I'm just saying that
look at The Rock's body of work.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. Look at Austin's. It's Expendables. It's Condemned. It's Revolver. It's
the army guy. It's the shoot 'em up. It's the beat 'em up kind of guy.
He should have been the fucking Marine.
Right.
He should have been gung ho and G.I. Joe. Damn it. But that's the problem. He got typecast, and I think he just didn't enjoy it. Maybe it's one thing to enjoy the shit. It's another thing to do it to get a paycheck. And I feel like, but I can't say this enough. I don't think this was a bad movie. I think it was rushed. I think they just fucking breezed by a lot of things and just left it to your imagination, right? Like the ending is kind of fucking stupid.
Well, before that.
No, I know that. I'm not going to give away the ending.
No, not about that. I wanted to answer your question about being rushed. The budget, it was a good budget though. It was a budget of $20 million. What it made in the box office was half of that, or a little bit less, or 40. It was 45% less. It made $8.6 million totally worldwide, give or take. So they did take a loss on this, but this was again WWE Films Reflection Nights. Again, I think WWE. Yeah, that is 40%. But WWE, you agree with me? WWE Films and Hollywood just don't mesh because they don't respect WWE Films. You just say that. So if they kept it as a secret, like a secret.
Does it say what they made on video? Because I think they were probably gunning for video sales.
No, I don't even got budget and box office numbers right now. I don't have the video numbers or the DVD.
They got numbers. $6 for me for the Blu-ray.
So maybe add on.
I still haven't opened.
So let's just guesstimate. I say they probably added another $4 million, so that's about $12 million totally. So that's not. I'm not gonna say that's good, and
then they're making money because it's on Tubi. They're making money because it's on Pluto. They're probably inching towards breaking even at some point, But then again, it's a loss. I'll bet you of that $20 million, a couple of it went to Austin. But there's a lot of blow up shit in that movie.
Right. No, I just want to say this. The first thing in my notes, TW, is when I saw the movie and then when it was right there and I saw it say WWE Films, you know what I did? I know why I failed. Right. That was the thing, is just once you see WWE Films.
But the Scorpion King was WWE Films too.
No, it wasn't.
It was WWE Films through New Line Cinema. It says it's produced by Shane McMahon and his wife.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
You got the tapes?
No, it was on the screen. The Scorpion King was a collab. A collab, as the kids say in the rap songs, a feature. But what's Shane's wife's name? Maria?
Wait. The Scorpion King itself or the Mummy thing? Because the Mummy franchise is the spinoff to the Scorpion King. That's why I say it's not that.
Scorpion King is a spinoff from the Mummy.
Right.
But it's WWE Films distributed by New Line Cinema. Like this is Lionsgate or whatever you just said. I'm telling you, it's Marissa McMahon, whatever his fucking wife's name is. Those Linda. Two produced, not Linda, Shane's wife.
Oh, I don't know her.
Yeah, Shane McMahon and his wife. If it wasn't WWE Films, it was his wife and his film company. But it was produced by Marissa McMahon or whatever the hell her name is, and it was a spinoff of that. But WWF was heavily involved. They fucking pushed it on Raw. They pushed it everywhere.
Okay. Well, they got lucky. Only WWE Films got lucky with one movie, but they didn't get lucky with everything else, give or take. So now let's get into the Condemned here, TW. So again, the budget was $20 million, and they made close to half of that. Plus, you could say with the DVR's money too. So they made more than half of it back, but they still took a loss. The premise of the movie, TW, reminded me, you should know what this movie kind of reminds you of with this. It kind of reminds you of The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger. because it's the same kind of thing.
We did this movie already. It is
right. It is the Running Man, but it's present day Running Man with a twist. Reflection. So with this being said, Stone Cold Steve Austin is the lead character. He plays a special operatives Navy SEALs captain named Jack Conrad. And he was falsely imprisoned in El Salvador because, he was doing those covert missions, Reflection Nights, that the U.S. government, your U.S. government,
Black Ops.
He was doing Black Ops. But your government, the Dems of the Repubs, they will never take responsibility for all these Black Ops things going on around the world. That's why the United States is the most evil country in the world.
I don't know about that.
It is because this things like this happen all the time. But anyway,
there's motherfuckers getting thrown off the roofs for being gay in some countries. I don't know if we're the most evil,
but
we're the most capable.
At least you know it. It's out there in front of you. That's what that's
we're
the
most capable.
I can respect people saying I don't like that. We're gonna throw you off the roof for it. But neither here nor there. But anyway,
don't start nothing, won't be nothing.
Right. So if we get canceled, neither here nor there. Their opinions
I was wrong, by the way. Produced by Vince McMahon.
But either way, the most you talk about Condemned or you talk about Scorpion?
Production company, WWE Entertainment, Alpha Films, Meisher Films, distributed by Universal Pictures.
Right. This was
Scorpion
before.
King.
I think Scorpion King was before the WWE film was being created, if you will, TW. But anyway, Steve Austin is imprisoned in an El Salvador prison camp. But like I said, this movie kind of reminds us about like the Running Man. So Steve Austin's in a camp, and there is this television producer, an evil television producer. It's not played by Richard Dawson. I forget his name, but he is trying to create the next big viral moment, TW. So for 2007 purposes, it's funny because the premise of the show is 10 prisoners from around the world are trapped on an island. So it's Survivor on crack, if you will. I'm just trying to give a great analogy here. It's Survivor on crack. You have 30 hours with a bomb on your ankle. You must survive. You must kill off the other 9 convicts from around the world to win your quote-unquote freedom. Kind of reminds me of the Running Man, TW. So what say you about the premise? Because, again, with the viral moment, and I find it funny because logistically, this was an illegal stream. This is like This is not. This is like BTV.
Which I like that as a plot point because it's saying, unlike the Running Man, which was on network TV, this was guerrilla radio. This was illegal, and the Navy's looking for him on the side, trying to find him. I like that part of it. So that's why I say it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad plot. It's not. It's just
here's the problem I have with it. How do you find out about this? Because in 2007, there wasn't MySpace can do only so much.
It's funny you say that. I didn't even put that. I mean, 2007, the internet's out there, but it's almost like pay-per-view. And it was $50 like a pay-per-view.
Right.
But I'm looking at it like WWE Network. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even looking at it.
We're so spoiled with 2020 threats because, you know, you could go on Facebook. You could be on the PW Hustle Facebook fan group. And I could say, here's the link to this guerrilla warfare thing, like you said, for $50, you click the link and we go from there. In 2007, you only got MySpace, but you can only do so much with MySpace. So you can't do, I'm only putting music on, my music, my top 5 music and my top 5 friends. Yeah. Again, YouTube is
you're more downloading stuff to listen to after it downloads, not while it's happening.
That's what I'm saying. So it's kind of weird because the television producer himself was so amped for this viral video, this viral guerrilla video thing. He wanted to eclipse the Super Bowl, which was 40 million, which is really a dumb number because they do 40 million by the half. They do 100 million. So he had a target number, 40 million downloads. So 40 million times $50. Yes, he's making a chunk of change. So let's say TW about the television producers, overall goal.
There's another movie, and I think it was before this. It was called 15 Minutes. It's a really, really good movie. It's ahead of its time. It's Ed Burns. Anything Ed Burns does, I watch and I enjoy. And it's got Oleg Tarkov, used to be a UFC fighter. and then another dude, and they were basically Russians that came to America. And I saw this in the theater. David Alan Greer's in it. They basically want to be famous because of the internet. So they walk around with cameras, killing people, blowing stuff up, and then putting it on the internet. But it was more of a YouTube type thing, not as it happens. And so there's the idea was already there. So I guess it's not a stretch to say, let's do it live, you know? But what was bullshit is they're all watching it in the bar. There's no way to hook a damn laptop to the TV in 07.
Yeah, that's the little plot holes, if you will.
But it's
no, actually, it's not that difficult because you can do the laptop and you can find a connection with your
HDMI cables. Yeah. Were they around in 07? HDMI?
I don't know if it was around in 07, but there was a cable connection. It was a special cable connection that you could put on your TV to connect from that. But
it didn't.
Buffering. It didn't buffer. They would have been buffering like crazy in 2007. But neither here nor there. Again,
especially the more people that got on it. If you're at 10 million people. Or however many people. No, they were at 17 or 18 million.
At certain instances during the fights, it went up to like 8 million. It went up to 12 million.
He said 17 or 18 at one point.
No. Yeah, but by the time the main event, you could say it went up to 40 million that he wanted. He got the number that he wanted.
He got to the number. I didn't know that.
But it took certain fights. But before we talk about the fights, reflection, again, this is a quick movie. Again, if you saw The Running Man, you get the gist of it. Because Steve Austin is in an El Salvadorian camp feeding rats. He doesn't want to be fucked with. But the television producer has got to scout, if you will, reflectionites. So he's got to go to these prisons around the world. So he went to Stone Cold Steve Austin's prison camp in El Salvador. Of course, he's an American. He's a soldier, but he didn't give a good bio, if you will. So he had to create a bio. It was funny. He's a KKK member. He was racist, and he burned down a retarded camp. Their words, not mine. He bombed a retarded camp. I didn't make this shit up.
That's one thing they couldn't do in 2023. But let's talk about how they had to find Stone Cold. The first, they come and tell the guy they killed our Arab. That's how they had to go find Stone Cold. They were looking for another Arabic guy to replace the guy they lost. And he goes, we need this whole country watching. And they go, we got a guy in Guatemala. He goes, I don't want a Guatemalan. I want an Arab. But then when he said it was an American with all the anti-American sentiment, and this is before Trump by 9 years, saying it was an anti-American sentiment. They got Austin and made him out to be the ultimate bad guy. But there's also where the Mexican couple are getting killed. They're talking shit about Mexicans, and they're going, oh, it's cold there, isn't it, you Mexicans or whatever. I'm like, what the hell? No wonder this bombed. I bet you there was theaters that wouldn't play it in 07.
Who knows? But again, the one thing that the television producer had to do, like I said, he had to go to these prisons around the world. He had a lot of connections with these prison guards.
Pay to get them out,
and he had to pay to get them out. So one of the prison, let's say auditions, if you will, TW, is another wrestler in this movie, Nathan Jones, who did not, reach the superstar status.
That was Nathan Jones.
Yes.
The other Stone Cold Steve Austin?
He played Peter Ratsep in one of those prisons where he had to audition. He had the worst audition because he had to beat up 4 people. Everybody else got a 1-on-1 or maybe 2-on-1.
Right.
Nathan Jones had to earn his stripes to get to the island by beating up 4 or 5 guys. What say you about Nathan Jones? This was the best wrestling he did in the most career than I ever saw him.
And then when he fought Austin on the island, Austin was doing his work punches, man. He was punching like he was punching The Rock. It was awesome. But I knew he looked familiar. I just assumed he was an actor. When they first showed him, and I think this was by design, I knew he was bigger, so I knew it wasn't Austin. But it was almost like they wanted you to think it was Austin because you just saw him standing there with a bald head that had the horseshoe in. And I'm like, there ain't no way in hell Austin is going on TV with the horseshoe, because I've seen him do many interviews where he hates having the stubble grow in and having the horseshoe.
It's funny you say that. So let me ask you this hypothetically. We know the movie bombed. But why cast Nathan Jones, like you said, because it's like a doppelganger with Stone Cold Steve Austin. So you're actually watching Stone Cold twice. Maybe that's it. You could say if you're, for all the, let's say the slow and challenged people, damn, there's Steve Austin fighting twice. I don't know. But again, you could have cast someone like, another big dude, maybe like not Giant Gonzalez, but or Great Khali or something like that. You have something.
Wasn't Great Khali in the Longest Yard too?
Yeah, he was in the Longest
Yard. So
I
would think it's one of two things. One, an intentional swerve, so you thought it was Stone Cold.
Okay.
And then you thought Stone Cold versus him would be Undertaker versus Undertaker, or that's Austin's buddy, and he got him in the film and said, "Dude, he's perfect for it. Let's use him." And that's why he probably had the horseshoe, is so that you didn't think it was Stone Cold. You know what I mean? Like to differentiate between them. But I think he did good. The only thing I have a problem with him is you got him in there. He's the only other guy I recognize. I didn't know his name. So now it's Vinnie Jones, Austin, and Nathan Jones. He's like one of the first to die. Like the old man that looks like Dale from Walking Dead, then him. And it's like, man, this guy's not the main event. I understand Vinnie Jones being the main event. That dude's the Butcher and Lock, Stock, and Smoking Barrels and Snitch. He was the
Aussie kicker in Euro Trip, in that comedy.
Yeah, he's always a badass in those English movies, right? And then in the States, another Blu-ray I own that I've never watched is Gangs of New York, and he's probably in that. So, but Vinnie Jones is good, and that's funny because I didn't know if it was 07. I actually thought it was earlier than that because Vinnie Jones looks so young in this movie that I'm like, man.
Well,
but they do something with Vinnie Jones that I like too for this movie.
It's funny you say Vinnie Jones, so I'll give the cast of character as best as I can here. Steve Austin plays.
Recognize nobody.
No, I'm just again, you won't recognize him, but again, we have to at least talk about the convicts here. I'm not gonna say every 10 convicts because none of them really mattered. But you got Steve Austin, Jack Conrad, or Jack Riley. You got Vinnie Jones as Ewan McStarley. He was the other special ops from the Great Britain side. So, it was kind of even keeled, like you said, the main event between Austin and Vinnie Jones. You got Manu Bennett as Paco Pacheco and his wife, what was her name? Daisy Ruiz as Rosa Pacheco. So you got Nathan Jones is in this movie as Peter Ratsap. You got Masa Yamaguchi, the Asian guy that was Vinnie Jones' second, as Gosaga. So what say you about the cast of characters with these convicts?
So you just did, listen to this. You just did 5 people, and then I think the Asian was 6. You just did 6, and then there's the black guy with the dreads and the black chick that blows herself up. Okay. That's the only 8 people I see die. There's 2 more people that never get killed. And then when that girl blows herself up and it looks like Austin's in there.
Remember the first thing when all 10 were in the helicopter being dropped down.
Yeah.
One of the prisoners actually dies because they dropped him on the rock and he got his heart impaled. So he was already down to 8. So technically it was already down to 9.
That's 9, but where's the other 10? So the first guy dead is Dale from Walking Dead, right?
Wait,
actually, you didn't say his name. You didn't say his name.
I don't know everybody's name.
Dead. There was only 2 girls, right? The black girl and the Mexican girl.
Mm-hmm.
And then
the black girl killed another older white guy.
That's Dale from the fucking Walking Dead. Okay, and then the black dude, I love how she killed the black dude. Giving him a massage and then pulling the pin on his gimmick. Well, and he's like, another bitch got me.
Before anything, Reflection, let me try to explain this because TW gave a great part, and I like this. So while the 10 convicts are fighting each other, 9 convicts because the guy died instantaneously on the rock and he got his heart impaled. The goal of the fight was to, either kill them or try to get the bomb off their ankles because it was triggered. So that was
which killed them.
That was the Achilles heel of all the convicts because that's what actually got the black girl to at least extend her life on the island because she did it not once, but she did it twice. It's funny because again, like you said, the Dale guy that got killed, what did he want to do? He wanted to rape her. So
which makes sense,
right? And the funny thing about it, Reflection Ice, was the producers. They were on the island, but they were on the other side of the island watching this as it was going on in the safe house, you could say. But they were amped for this. But it was funny, TW, because the television producers, the cameraman, the guy working the online stuff, the online programmer, at first they were excited, but then for some strange reason, as the hours waned by, they grew a conscience. Come on, TW, what is this?
Dude,
what is this? What is up?
Because I don't think they anticipated rape. They thought everyone was going to die. They raped. One attempted rape, and one did get raped.
Again, this is a plot hole to me. You got 10 convicts from the scummiest prisons in the world. The rap sheet is big. The rap sheet's a ton. You're going to have a conscience because some girl's going to get raped? You don't know what she did.
But, Professor, if you and I were watching that and watch someone getting raped live, you're going to be like, damn. I didn't see that one coming. And here's what I thought. I thought that the black chick was going to get killed first. I'm like, why'd they even have women on here? They're just making them look like they got no chance anyway. But then they made the black girl end up being tough. She killed 2 people and then blew herself up because she got shot with the arrow. And then the Mexican girl, it was like, what the fuck did she even do to go to prison? They said her and her husband went on a murder spree. Yet,
well, I think he did the murder spree. It was like a little bit different of Bonnie and Clyde. She just was. She was just back. She was just supporting her man. She
just thought he was hot.
Right. She was hot, and you.
And he was a bitch. The whole movie, he was a bitch.
Well, you know what? For the Mexican cartel couple, you could say a TW. Yes, he was a bitch. I agree with you 100% because his first interaction. Well, Stone Cold's first interaction was his first fight. Reflection Nights. Let me just say this: before the Mexican interaction, he had to fight Nathan Jones, his doppelganger. So we have to talk about that first.
Right.
So Steve Austin necessarily didn't want to fight. He was actually the funny thing about Steve Austin was his special ops training kicked in. He looked at the helicopter. He was looking at the navigation controls. He was looking at the island. He can tell. He was like a human GPS. What say you, T-Bob, about the brilliance of Steve Austin using his special ops training?
And he only wanted to do one thing. He was resigned to die. He wanted to get to the phone, talk to his girl, and tell her where he put his money, and then he was fine dying. He wasn't going to kill these people. He was just going to detonate when that thing went off. And in the beginning, when they all get that thing put on him, everyone's belly aching except him. He's the one looking around going, look at these pussies, just like he just thought, here it is. And I think they did a good job, and he did a good job acting where he's feeding rats, right? They're showing his humanity. And then when he kills someone, they show his brutality. Shout out to Rhea Ripley. But it was to people that deserved it. And you've seen that theme in many movies where people are mercenaries and they're lovers to their family and friends. And then when they kill people they think deserve to die, it's a job. And what's his name was like that?
In the movie?
Huh?
Wait, you talking about in the movie or you're just saying in general?
Well, Austin was like that in the movie. Oh, the Iceman, the serial killer, the real serial killer when he did that show on HBO.
Oh, okay.
The Iceman Confessions or whatever, which is where Stone Cold coincidentally thought of the name. Was that guy was the Iceman and he became Stone Cold because he wanted to be. But that guy was like his daughters had no idea he was a serial killer. He raised his daughters and his wife, but when he killed somebody, it was a job. And I think that guy killed 200 people, or they were hits, mob hits and stuff. But that guy didn't look at it as murder. He looked at it as people that don't deserve to be here, but he's getting paid by other people who don't deserve to be here. And he had no problem killing any of them. So Austin was like that. And maybe the part that you just have to feel him giving out is he was okay with dying because he knew he did a lot of bad shit and this was his turn. He just wanted to take care of his girl and her 2 kids by letting them have that money. And he made it, but again, rushed,
Yeah.
And
but let's talk. Like you said, Stone Cold fought, but he needed a reason to fight. He didn't want to fight. He didn't want to be. Right. He was looking to go.
He had
to
no
the
intention of playing that game.
He didn't want to play the game. He was just wanted to get to a phone. He just wanted to know where the phone was to call his girlfriend. Yeah. But he had to fight to get to the phone. So the first fight he had was against Nathan Jones. So you got the WWE star against the WWE star, or if you want to call him a WWE star. So what say you about the collision of Stone Cold Steve Austin, Jack Conrad, and Nathan Jones?
This is the second place with the problem I have with the rushing it, right? So they do kind of make up for it a little bit later. That bomb on their leg, the meter, is in like if you ever see the oximeters that you put on your finger, it's in that little pouch that you put it in when you're not using it. It was protected, right? But it was protected by like a fucking Swiss Army knife handle case, right?
Right.
And so when they're falling out of the helicopter, the way they threw Austin out of the helicopter, the two ways you could detonate were by pulling the tab or tampering. How the fuck did these guys roll down mountains and it didn't shake a wire loose to make the bomb go off? You know, that's
well, most of the convicts landed in water. One died, and then Austin landed on the beach and rolled down. He was the only one that legitimately looked hurt. So there is another plot hole. He should have had broken ribs. He should have had maybe a turned ankle or something like that.
Had a broken knee from Vinny busting him in the knee with the gun. And that's the other problem. This dude hands him, it called it Christmas, which is straight out of the Hunger Games, where they dropped the bag of guns and bombs and a crossbow. Like, those guys should have won hands down.
Well, with that being said, I just want to talk about the fight first, and then I'll go to that. So Nathan Jones, again, you said it was like real wrestling punches between Austin and Nathan Jones. Were you expecting clotheslines? We got a suplex. We did get a back suplex.
But yeah, belly to back. Yeah. No, I wasn't expecting clotheslines. I don't really know what I was expecting, but I know in the rundown and Walking Tall, there's clotheslines. There's, kicks.
Right.
Possibly a regular suplex too. One of the movies had a regular suplex, but that could have been Expendables. But no, I just looked at it as a Hollywood movie fight. I didn't expect or notice anything that made it look like other than the punches. The punches
would have been cheesy if you got wrestling moves. Okay, that's why I just wanted to say that. So when you have two wrestling guys trying to fight each other in a Hollywood setting, I was kind of technically expecting a back suplex. I was technically expecting a body slam or just something like, or shoulder block or something like that. I'm not expecting like a power bomb or a hit or a Frankensteiner, but I'm expecting the simplistic wrestling maneuvers like a body slam, a clothesline, or something like that, just to keep the flavor of it. It's the WWE Films produced movie, so why not? God damn it, Stone Cold. God damn it, Nathan Jones. We need some wrestling. We need some clotheslines and kicks and stuff like that. I want a Stone Cold Stunner action or something like that. I think Vince McMahon would have been. Well, the senile started in 2007, so I would expect Vince McMahon to say, "Can we fit a Stone Cold Stunner in this movie, Austin?" And then he said, "God damn it, pal, no, hell no." So he kept it simple with a nice brawling fight, and of course he pushed Nathan Jones off, and he actually didn't touch the bomb on his ankle.
It was the fall.
It was triggered because he was out of the realm, out of the safe zone of it. So once he got off the island, it triggered itself. So he blew up there. So Nathan
blew
Jones
up in midair. That was actually so that's the first scene where I saw what I thought was coming and it never came. And I wish it would have. And it was definitely the right part to do it. Oh man, my buddy's coming here to pick up stuff, but not till after we're done. So I wanted to see, because this scene, I think the thought popped in my head before the scene, but when he looks over and he sees that red thing in the bushes, and his eyes light up, like shit, which one? And neither one of them know which one it is, which gives him the opening to take the rock, hit Nathan in the head, and then push him off, because it ended up being Nathan's. What I wanted to see, and I wanted Austin to be the one to do it. Okay. I wanted to see Austin's pin get pulled for the swerve. So you thought he's dying, but then him do something to the guy, take his red thing out and put it back in his run, and then that guy blow up. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
I wanted to see a swerve. They did do a swerve later on, but a horrible one, because if you're watching at home, it's just stupid what they finally did, but we'll move on to the next fight.
Yeah. No, well, again, he pushes off Nathan Jones. It was one of the highlight fights I wanted to talk about, at least in this movie. And then something that you said, because again, this is survival on crack, Reflection Night. So one of the things they did during the 30 hours, what we find out a little bit later in the movie, is that the television producer made a deal, quote unquote, with one of the contestants, Vinnie Jones. So the other specialized person from Great Britain. So what was part of the movie was there was these care packages that the helicopter brought down. So one care package had a sandwich, water, and then another care package had weapons, knives and guns and crossbows and all this shit. So TW and it was convenient. Like the black guy got the care package of food because he was hungry and he was thirsty. So you thought it was like a natural care package that if you was, fittest of the survival. But the second and third care packages were very strategic for Vinnie Jones to get. So what say you about that?
Which is what I liked what they did. It made no sense to do it in the midst of the movie, but when you find out why at the end, because it also makes no sense what Vinnie and the Asian guy are doing. Like they're just the two worst human beings that ever were born until you find out why at the end. Mm-hmm. Because of what you
he didn't make the deal with the Asian. He only made the deal with Vinny.
So Vinny kept him because Vinny was smart enough to say, hey, the two of us can wipe out the other 8 and then we'll worry about us.
Right. So of course there always has got to be an antagonist, and we have to focus a little bit on Vinnie Jones for a second. TW, like you said, you saw him in Gangs of New York. I saw him on Euro Trip as that Aussie kicker, soccer thing. It was a comedy, but it was funny. But anyway, he played the role to a T as being the antagonist. He played the role as being a special ops from Great Britain and all that stuff. He had no conscience. He did what he did. Like you said, he raped the Mexican chick. He punished and treated the other Mexican like a dog. He outsmarted the Asian assassin. So what say you about Vinnie Jones's contributions to the movie of The Condemned?
He's great. And like I said, I don't think this is a bad movie. I think it's rushed. I think people would absolutely say it's a bad movie, and I would say it's because they wanted it to be. Like there's bad movies, man. There's very few movies that I start watching and don't finish, but there's a couple, and one of them is that fucking Seth Rogen movie where they find the alien, whatever the hell that movie is, when they're in the RV.
Okay.
God awful. Something distracted me. I never went back. And another one's called Gummo. Don't even bother looking into it. It's fucking guy at work told me to watch it. It's an indie film. They didn't keep that shit in the indies. But other movies are.
Is there
bad.
a wrestler in it? Is there a wrestler in it?
No, dude. It's like life.
You're lucky. You're lucky there wasn't, because I might do a PWR. But go ahead, TW. Go ahead.
But like this movie is just they didn't. The pacing is the only thing. It's just so rushed. But like you said, the movie can't be too long because it's 10 people trying to kill each other. Like, what I'll say is it's an inferior Hunger Games. Hunger Games are awesome movies, but they're fucking 4 movies for 3 books because they pace it out. They give you time to invest. There's no time to invest in this movie.
Because again, you technically got 30 hours to do what you got to do to win this competition or get blown up. So you got to do whatever by any means necessary.
The little bit that they try to get you to invest in is that Mexican couple, but he's such a bitch so quick that you don't care, and she's such a fucking weak woman that you just question how the fuck she was there in the first place. Pardon me, Travis, but because she's just like, what kind of killer is she? Like, she should have died sooner. And I think we talked about it. If we talked about why Vinny was doing what he was doing,
not totally, but go ahead.
Because the guy asked him to put on a show, so Vinny was doing it for the ratings. Otherwise, he wasn't that savage of a guy. He's capable of it. He has no conscience, like you said, and he thought he was going to get paid well for it. And then he actually had an affinity for Stone Cold because he said they were the same guy. They got used up by their government, left behind, turned, that it was never personal. It was just business, and Austin wasn't having it. But I liked Vinny. Vinny brought a lot to this movie. If it wasn't, like, for example, when I watched The Marine, I think the evil Terminator is the bad guy. Patrick, whatever his name is. Robert Patrick. So when you have someone who makes you hate him, it's a better movie for it. And Vinnie Jones almost wins you over in the end with what he's saying, other than the massacre he did before Austin showed up. That makes him fucking heartless. But the way he was with Austin, like, nah, man, we're the same. And he said it twice. Twice he told them they were the same, and Austin's like, we ain't shit alike, motherfucker.
Yeah. So
but listen, the black guy had the best line in the whole damn movie When that chick, he's like, yeah, I was with a chick and she got me robbed. And guess what happens when you get caught with kilos and Shangri-La, the death penalty. And he's like, so I'm a little, like, you just think, like, why is this scene even in this movie? Like, they're falling in love, right? In a 30-hour crunch. And then when she did it, he goes, oh, damn it, a bitch got me again. And he blew up.
Yeah, that was the best part of it.
It's your sucker shit right there. It was beautiful.
Let me just say one thing about this movie, Reflection Nights, that I liked to a degree, TW. So, with the island being, I think it was in the South Pacific, whatever. It was a private island with the safe house.
Epstein Island.
You could, whatever. I didn't see Epstein, but neither here nor there. But anyway,
he rented it out.
They got good catering in Epstein Island, but neither here nor there. But they do.
I didn't know they had little boys there.
No, catering. I said they have great catering.
Well, if you went there. That'd be dudes.
I went for the wings. I went for the buffalo wings, but neither here nor there. But anyway, the camera work. Again, it's 2007. You have to at least give props to either they were trying to. That was the future with all the cameras, the kind of drones. Even though I don't know if drones were a thing in 2007 TW, but you could see the camera work, and of course the live gorilla cam people that were like shooting the close up for the HD. What say you about the attempts of trying to give the masses to pay the $50 for the camera work, supposedly?
Dude, it was well done. It was well put together. Like for what they were doing, they went all in. Like he wasn't trying to spend $10 to make $50 million. He was spending $100 million to make $500 million. Like, he put some money into it, like getting the island, getting these people out of prison, getting these cameramen who end up being bitches, by the way, dressed up like fucking
yes, because they want to see people blow up, but they can't. They don't like rape. Rape is rape is a touchy subject. But they want to see people get blown up. But neither here nor there. Go ahead, TW. I just wanted to say that.
Well, I just think, I mean, I have a mom, you have a mom, we all have moms, and then I have daughters. I wouldn't want to watch that. Like, hey, this is what we signed up for. But at the end of the day, I still question, you know what? I'm with you. You got no problem with these broads getting beaten and murdered, but you got a problem with them getting raped. At least, well, I can't say that. We'll get canceled if I would have said what I was about to say.
The opinions of TW was almost.
I'm not going to say it.
Not agreeable with the professor, but we would agree with it off air. But neither here nor there. I want to say this, TW, because again, I like what they attempted with the technology, you could say. But again, it's still 2007. You and I both know there was going to be some plot holes. There was going to be extensive buffering, even if you paid for $50. The one thing that I found funny was Steve Austin getting to the safe house. What did he do? Whatever he did with the ankle bracelet, he covered it. He covered his GPS tracking. So no one knew where Stone Cold was. So technically he couldn't get off the island, but he could have hid out. He could have just laid low. So what say you about that? He wanted to make the phone call. I got that part. But they couldn't find him. And after all
that, thing was going to detonate after 30 hours no matter what.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying it was kind of a funny thing to see that he covered his GPS. They couldn't find him, but he could have like laid low for the next 20 hours by the safe house and then just kind of showed up like, I'm here, get me out of here, or whatever the case may be.
They took care of that because he took too long because she's the reason. Like he's trying to give her the number straight away.
And by the way, TW,
always
Stone Cold is a simp. How are you going to take care of two kids that ain't your own? I don't like this stuff. I don't like that message. I'm sorry. I don't like that.
Like it's his own boys.
But like Maury Povich said, you are not the father. Yeah, I'm just saying, you're trying to give me this. I got the part where that's his girlfriend. I got that love part. But come on. I bet you she cheated on him, and those kids were already born when he was already doing his special ops thing, and he had to take care of kids that wasn't even his. I'm just saying that. That's my conspiracy theory, but neither here nor there. So,
but she's divorced with 2 children. Didn't you hear the memo?
No, she was cheating with him while the paperwork wasn't signed, and then she got pregnant. Trying to save the marriage. I know how it goes. I've seen Young and the Restless
Anchor
all the time.
babies.
Yes, they're anchor babies. They were anchor babies. Let's keep it real. TW,
but here's the thing.
Keep it real.
They make it out like she's some broke ass chick. Yeah, she's got the damn Dallas Fort Worth ranch that takes them 20 minutes to drive the driveway to get to her house. And she thinks he's gone at this point. So when he pulls up, she should be like, who the hell is this? Instead, she's like, it's Stevie. It's my boy Stevie. Don't go pimp.
Here's another faux pas I have, TW. And I have to talk about the FBI a little bit. And the girlfriend, you could say. The FBI somehow, some way, knows about this viral video that's going to happen. But yet, they can't track him. They can't do anything about that. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of funny. Then the girlfriend is talking with the FBI agent. We already know, again, he's a special ops guy. He was doing black ops shit that the U.S. is not going to, co-sign. We had no part. We don't know what he was doing. He was working on his own. He is his own man. He's his own.
He's Tom Cruise. Mission Impossible.
He's Mission Impossible. I get that, TW. But again, do you remember Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee?
It's like 5 years old.
Right, but you remember him going into the island, and then at the end, the Navy came after the island. He kicked ass. This is the same thing. Stone Cold is in the island. The FBI is watching
There's no one left to arrest.
Right. The FBI is watching him do this shit for 30 hours. Then after all the shit, then they rescue him. I'm just like, that's Enter the Dragon right there too. What say you, TW?
Are we talking about the finish yet?
We can talk about anything. We're talking about everything.
Because they make it out like he died. Because he comes floating back up to the top. That's another plot hole. I ain't never seen a motherfucker drown, come right to the top the second he landed in the water. So everyone thought he was dead.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about the main event, so to speak. And it's Stone Cold Steve Austin against the Asian Assassin and Vinnie Jones. It's 2-on-1. Technically, it was 3-on-1 because the black chick was trying to sneak in, trying to get a quick kill on Steve Austin. But then, she got shot by the bow and arrow. Then she just said, fuck it, I can't live. So she blew herself up. I don't know why. She could have made it. Who knows?
She had a fucking arrow through her back.
I don't care. You still got to try. There's money on the line here.
Paco wouldn't go anywhere because his leg hurt.
Well, Paco was already disheveled because his wife was already dead. So he was already a defeated
but he wanted
man.
him and Austin to kill those two motherfuckers. He goes, you can help me. We'll kill these motherfuckers.
How you gonna?
Laid there crying.
That's a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Ain't gonna matter. So what say you about the?
They killed my baby. They treat her like an animal. Look, you got sympathy for your girl? You murdered people on the street?
So what say you about the main event? The one thing about the main event, and actually the whole movie, TW, is for Stone Cold Steve Austin, his responsibility as the lead actor. I hate to say this, maybe you might disagree with me, but again, this is my humble opinion. Arnold Schwarzenegger has those one-liners, I'll be back, and all of that stuff. Do you think Steve Austin needed a one-liner in this movie to kind of like, for me to have some kind of niche for the wrestling fan or whatever? He doesn't have to say, and that's the bottom line.
I think that's my favorite part of the movie was that I just took Austin serious as that role. I didn't question him. I didn't think he was acting. I didn't think it was Steve Austin on Monday Night Raw. I just felt like I was watching this guy do his thing, and I didn't feel like it was overacting, underacting, and I never even thought about one-liners. And I'm trying to go in my head. He said gracias, or the other guy said gracias to him. He said, you're welcome, and walked away like it was no nonsense. I liked it.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm just saying. So you don't think he needed a one-liner to like have that hook in the movie?
No.
Or was it, to you, that would be cheesy?
It would be cheesy. It would be right up there if he started clotheslining people.
Damn, maybe I wanted that. I wanted a clothesline and a one-liner to make this movie feel real to me. I don't know, or make it just more fun and enjoyable.
I'm looking at it as he's trying to get the fuck out of wrestling, so he's not going to do stuff like that.
Well, how are you going to get out of wrestling when you're doing a movie that's produced by WWE Films? That's just me. You're not out. You're still in.
He probably thought he was going to get some money and then catapult up. Like, dude, Cena's on his way, and that dude made fucking that Firehouse movie with the dog. It's horrible.
It's great. It's great. But neither here nor there. But
anyway, survived it.
Yes, he survived it. But anyway, like you said, Steve Austin initially dies at the main event against him and Vinnie Jones. So he held his breath underwater, whatever the case may be. But we have to talk about at least the ending, TW, because we learned some things. the television producer is lying through his teeth. He knows that the government or whatever government is coming to arrest him. He's going to leave his production team out to dry. He was going to get the helicopter himself. He was going to escape with his number one henchman. But then Vinnie Jones had other plans.
That was the one-liner. I'm going to kill you too, sweetheart. That's the one-liner.
Oh, Steve Austin?
Yeah.
You call that a one-liner? Oh, okay.
He goes, I'm going to kill. He goes, it ain't over yet. I'm going to kill you. And I'm going to kill you too, sweetheart.
Oh, okay. So what say you about the end where Vinnie Jones, kind of like you said, he might have no conscience, but at least you can have empathy for him for the decision he made. He killed the whole production crew.
Right.
Shot him up.
And he said something very important for him doing it. He's like, I didn't do anything to anybody that didn't deserve it. They were all here, especially that one punk dude that was like Jesse from Breaking Bad. He was like, I love this shit. And the girl that got it, I love my job. Like those two specifically. But then you had innocent people that were just there on production. But he asked them, do you like watching this shit? And that kid wouldn't say yeah. And then he goes, bah-da-da-da-da. I just want to know how he had 472 bullets in one gun. That's all I want to know. Thought Biden took those guns away.
No, did you know that those were printed guns? Those are 3D printed guns. So, you know, they were way ahead of its time.
So they kept printing bullets.
Yes, they were printing bullets. But neither here nor there. But I give you this, TW, because I agree with you on the rush. By the time Stone Cold Steve Austin gets to the safe house, if you will, the television production, he just bucks Vinnie Jones. After all the stuff he did.
That was another one-liner.
Which one?
Vinny goes on this whole fucking promo about how they're the same. He goes, sounds like you had a pretty tough life. Good thing it's over.
Did you feel like that was a rush kill to get to him like that? Or did you think
No, because he had to find that dude going to the helicopter. Vinny was bad guy number 2. Vinny is Destro. He still got to find Cobra Commander.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, I'm with you with the rush. I thought that the ending, by the time he gets to kill Vinnie Jones, was rushed. The television producer, we could talk about it right now. That's not rushed. Here's the other
thing. Here's the other thing. Every time he fought Vinny, fought him a couple times. Every time Vinny had weapons, all he had was Wonder Woman's bracelets, apparently, because everything kept chinging off of his shit. So when he finally had a gun, it was good night, Irene. So I think that all came together well. And and he knew that guy was pure evil. That's why he said we're nothing alike. We have nothing in common. And then
so at the climax, you could say, Stone Cold finally catches up to the helicopter, and the other lady producer, like you said, who had the blonde lady producer,
that was his girlfriend. That was that guy's
we
girlfriend.
thought that was a girlfriend, or we thought that they had some history, but they didn't. She just had a conscience. Like she didn't, like you said, she signed up for something different, but the rape just triggered her. So either she was a snowflake. So she gave Stone Cold the other bomb. He threw it at the helicopter. It triggered off, and boom, the helicopter goes down, and Steve Austin is scot-free. He's a free man, and the ending is not only cheesy, but also rushed because, you know, he gets to the ranch house with his girlfriend's there. No hugs, no nothing, just a smile, and then
I thought that was a cool ending. Like,
no, it wasn't.
They're about to go bang.
My man went 30 hours on an island, bleeding, almost died, and then you end the movie without him hugging the girlfriend?
Because you knew they were about to bang.
I want to see the bang.
That's the sequel that never happened. There is a Condemned 2. Actually, when I searched for Condemned, there was a Condemned 2.
No, there is a Condemned 2 with Randy Orton from 2015.
And you still... Oh, then you knew it was WWE films. I think so. It's just the little nuances that I like. When that thing got thrown into the helicopter, I was glad Austin didn't run up that damn hill and jump on the landing gear of the helicopter and get in there and fight on the helicopter.
That's what Jean-Claude Van Damme would do. That's what Stallone would do. That's what Schwarzenegger would do.
Which is why I was glad he didn't do it. B, I like that it was the girl giving him Vinny's thing and pulled the pin out again and he threw it. But right before all of that, he shot up the thing, but he didn't hit any vitals on the helicopter. That dude buckled up. So when he threw the thing in there 5 minutes later, he couldn't reach it to throw it off because the seatbelt had him pinched in, and he was panicking. It's like when they set up a table next to the ring, and then you forget about it, and then 5 minutes later, guy's in the top rope and gets drop kicked, and he falls. You think he's going to the floor, and he falls through the table that they set up 5 minutes earlier. That was very, very well done. And that's what I mean. They absolutely get an A for effort for me. Other than the rushing, I don't think it's a bad movie at all. It could have been a better writing, but we knew what was going on. I think we both can agree that even the stuff that was rushed, we could read between the lines. Like the blonde was probably raped when she was younger, and that's why she doesn't like it. The head cameraman had a crush on her, and that's why he turned. But then he turned on her when he goes, "I'm going to finish the movie," and then he goes,
he wanted the money. He wanted the percentage. So
money over ass is what he wanted. So
that percentage, that percentage of the gate after $40 million at $50 a pop, he was going to get like 5 or 10% of that.
That's $200 million.
Yeah, so
if he got 10%, that's $20 million.
I do it too. I get rid of. I don't need ass if I got $20 million. I get enough ass with $20
million. I'll call you when I get my check.
There you go. So with that,
plus, by the way, you're also getting a check. So let's go.
So with that being said, before we close, TW, if you can do an abbreviation,
we got an unboxing.
Yes.
After we finish up the movie, but
we are technically finished. So what say you, TW? Let's grade this movie. I'm going to give it because it was WWE films. There are certain rush plots or rush holes, you could say, with this. So I'm going to be nice. I'm going to give it a C+. I would have given it a B-, but I gave it a C+ because, again, there's certain things that I like. Maybe I needed the one-liner. Maybe I'm very spoiled, if you will, with what Stallone and Jean-Claude Van Damme and Schwarzenegger does as with them being action stars and what I expect out of an action star. So I didn't get totally that from Stone Cold Steve Austin. I got him being the henchman. I got a henchman, Stone Cold Steve Austin, as the lead guy. I didn't get the action movie star totally. That's why I give it a C+.
I'm giving it an absolute down the middle C. And I actually was going to do that even before your C+, because I thought, you know what? I liked Austin in it. I liked Vinnie Jones in it. I liked the concept of it. I liked the filming of it. It didn't look like a B movie, like horrible one camera angle, shaky cam. The blonde, I told you before we went to record, she just was kind of like just another blonde, but she was smoking hot at the end. Whether she really was happy to see Stone Cold, and so she was glowing, I don't know. But she was smoking hot at the end. So I like all that. But I don't think this is a movie I'm watching ever again. So
you got it on Blu-ray, so you can probably watch it.
The cheapo in me is going to watch it on my Blu-ray just to give it. Plus, I miss him. So I missed that guy falling on the rock. And I still want to know where the 10th guy went, damn it. But,
and with your Blu-ray, you got extended scenes or deleted scenes. Yes. So go ahead.
So I would say I'm not mad I watched it. I enjoyed it, but it could have been so much better. And so a C means A for effort, E for rushing it, meet in the middle, C.
There you go. So with that being
Austin, I give an A. I give Austin and Vinnie Jones absolute A+. Both of them guys, neither one of them made me feel like I was watching a movie. I felt like I was watching two dudes really that just happened to have a camera on them. And I thought they weren't over the top. They weren't overacting. They weren't, Vinnie Jones was really, really good to me. So he's probably higher.
He was a good antagonist. So,
yeah, I think they both did a good job. The rest of them, that cameraman, I think he's in Jurassic Park, but he's always an asshole in every movie he's in. So for him to be the guy with a conscience in this movie was different, but good for him. But one thing I got to say, if you're a fan of Game of Thrones, if you're a fan of Walking Dead, if you're a fan of Breaking Bad, one of the new things in the 2000 teens was shows coming out where nobody was safe. Where anybody could die any week. Obviously, in the end, there were a handful of people that were never going to die. But you don't know that week to week because so many people die, and some of them you think are absolutely untouchable, and they die right when you think they're the most important on the show. Oberyn on Game of Thrones, couldn't believe he died when he did. But anyways, this movie's like that. And people, not only do they die and you don't even talk about them again. They're just on to the next scene. Two of the
they blew up. So that's
I'm
the
talking about
death.
the cameraman. I'm talking about the co-producer where he said sweetheart. I'm talking about
they got bucked.
Right. The people in the production room that get whacked by Vinny when he comes in there. So, and I love how Austin killed that guy. He just punched him and then put it right under him and just went boom, boom, boom. You see the bullets come out of his back. And I also got a note: $20 million budget, $5 million went to Austin, $5 million went to the song that they played when the two met up at the end because it's Nickelback. And how I thought was, where the fuck did they get money to put Nickelback songs in this movie?
Hey, Vince McMahon is a billionaire for a reason. But with that being said, we close on the... No, but I got to say this first, and then I was going to intro it to you.
Oh.
See, you think I wanted you to say the social media. Not yet.
Yeah,
Tranquilo.
Right.
We close on the segment of the PWR at the movies, and now... Before he goes on his booze cruise, before he goes on his orgy cruise, he's got one unboxing to do. And here is TW before he gives out those socials. So go ahead, TW, give out the abbreviated version of the pro wrestling unboxing.
All right. Well, this came in the mail yesterday. Dolph Ziggler, Dirty Dog, so I can put him with Bobby Roode, Robert Roode. All right, spoiler card. I'm not going to read it. And the first shirt looks like it's going to be your boy.
Adam Page?
Ooh, I think the other shirt's my other boy.
Well, the camera's not following you.
Yeah.
It's a black one. Oh, Eddie Guerrero. Nice.
Eddie Guerrero. I thought that shit was going to say Latino Heat. It says Eddie Guerrero. Probably because of copyright reasons.
No, that's the 2000 shirt when he was fired from the WWF.
Oh. And who's this? Oh, it's a nice shirt, but
who is it? Mercedes Moné. Not bad.
I was hoping that was Cameron Grimes. Damn it!
Hey, it's still about money. You got the female.
Thank the Lord. This
piece
of trash is just a sticker.
Eddie Kingston. Not bad. This is a good unboxing. I think you're 3 for 3.
It's Coco Beware. I couldn't tell if it was the Godfather. Got me some Coco Beware socks, baby. Dude, did he do it again?
What? Another Ric Flair bobblehead?
No, I think it's a good thing now. Jericho Appreciation Society button.
Okay.
Awesome. Oh boy, I got a sweet micro brawler. It's not the Chase, but
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Not bad. I like that one.
Right here with the other one. And that means this last thing, I was gonna be mad if it was a comic book again, because this is my second. If this isn't him, I'm gonna be furious. But sometimes you get two. This feels heavy. Maybe I got two. Nope, just one. This better be him. And I'm so confident that it is him. Might do it upside down.
CM Punk comic?
I know he's supposed to be in this box. And this would be a good thing to get if it's not a shirt.
You got Just Incredible.
Dude, Adam Cole was supposed to be in the next box.
Hey, maybe that's the next box. Who knows?
Let's see this garbage.
You got a Just Incredible. That's not bad.
Dude, my email said Adam Cole was the next box. I'm very angry. Damn, this sucks.
If you don't have the proof, then it never existed. And with that being said,
I think I'm gonna.
Are you done? You got another reveal?
When I finally come to New York, I'm bringing you a damn Just Incredible 8x10.
Well, give it to me. I like it. I'm an ECW mark. And with that being said, we close on this PWR at the movies, and we also close on the unboxing of TW's Pro Wrestling Crate box. And I'm going to say it was a very successful box revealing, even though he wanted an Adam Cole somehow, somewhere. I guess he wanted a picture.
I wanted Adam Cole with Ricky Steamboat thing.
Oh, you wanted a micro brawler Adam Cole. I don't think that was
going to be. Yeah, because I didn't buy the one at the show. Well, it was first in line, and then it was sold out by the time I went to go buy it.
It's still early in 2023. You never know. So with that being said, TW, give out those socials so we can get out of here and so you can go on your booze cruise. We'll be back in what, 2 weeks, TW?
Yeah.
Yes? Or you're just saying, okay, so we'll be back in 2
weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
Not next week, the week after.
The week after.
All righty then. So Hameen Media Group can be found at hameenmediagroup@podbean.com or channelattitude.com. Our Twitter, of course, is at PW Reflection. We said if I mention him, would say his thing. Travis Volts is at Nuts and Volts, VOELTZ PW. Big Ray Hernandez, can't do it without him. Every single social media thing out there, you can find him at Big Ray Hernandez. So if you're a Facebook or Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, or Grindr, at Big Ray Hernandez is what you're looking for. And then JB messaged us saying he loved this movie. He didn't come on the show, but at the P1JB. For me, Instagram and one of my Twitters at TommyWonder19, Snapchat's NumberWonder, Facebook.com/TommyWonder, and then my other Twitters and TikTok are at the Tommy Wonder. Dum doing an idiot, false promises, but just don't sleep on us. We're going to do it one day. And then Big Vito and his wife Noelle. You can find them at bigvitobrand.wixsite.com and patreon.com/the Big Vito Brand. Like I always tell you, but I'm adding one this week. You can watch an early release of this video, which if you're hearing it now, it's going to have to be the next one. But every week it goes early on twitch.tv/the Big Vito Brand. And obviously other stuff is on there besides our show, but you can support Big Vito and Noelle there.
Alrighty, and you can follow me on my Twitter at PWSOPRF. That's PWSOPROF. And if this gets uploaded by 8-Track Brown, this will be on the PWSO networks on the YouTubes. Follow my brothers in arms, Billy Ray Valentine, the man with the documents at OB1 You Know Me, and 8-Track Brown, the king of the reactions at the number 8 TRAC Brown. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. I don't know what we're going to do, so I got some time to think about it. I'm probably going to have to go episodic again because, again, I want to reach that elusive 200. I can smell it. I can smell it. I got to climb the mountain to get to 200. I'm very obsessed. I'm Chevy Chase National Lampoon's Vacation obsessed. I want to get there. It's about the journey. 200 is the professor's Wally World. I need it. I want it. I have to have it. So maybe we might go episodic, or maybe I might just throw a curveball. We'll do a spotlight. Who knows? I keep you on your toes, Reflection Nights. I keep you on your toes. And with that being said, I'm the Professor Chabela Cruz. That's Mr. Wonderful, WWE on the Iron Stomach One. Woo! Tommy One is saying good night, and we'll see you in 2 weeks with a new episode of the PWR
Dos
podcast.
semanas.
Yes, at the PWR podcast at the PWSO networks at podbean.com. And that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. Peace.
See ya portside, brother.
He said that?
No, I said it.
Oh, okay. I don't remember all these one-liners.